Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com, restoredmotions.com, and prochargeev.com. All right, y'all. Just got a text. Hang on, sorry. Hope your Monday is off to a great start. Hope you had a great weekend. Super Bowl 58 is set. It's exciting. Chiefs and 49ers. Sorry, my apologies. Like you came here to watch me read text. My apologies. Anyway, so Chiefs, Niners, Super Bowl 58 is set. Let me know your thoughts on it. A shame on me for doubting Patrick Mahomes. Bet against the Chiefs, both in the divisional round and yesterday. I actually did have I had a teaser bet, so I had the Chiefs and the Niners, so that hit with the teaser. But also had a money line parlay with the two home teams, and Chiefs with the outright win. And I think part of it, the reason I was willing to go against Mahomes and the Chiefs is they haven't been infallible. We saw them lose a Super Bowl, and we saw them lose an AFC Championship game at home to Joe Burrow and the Bengals. So it's not like they've been infallible. They have lost, and this wasn't the dominant Chiefs team, the most dominant Chiefs team of this era. But credit to them, man. Experience mattered, and went on the road and got it done against Baltimore. And then Detroit, man, what an all-time gag job. Up 17 on the road against the Niners, and you blow it. One of the things that so credit San Francisco for the comeback, but one of the things that you've probably heard me say a lot, like one of my mantras is, why do coaches hate points? And look, Andy Reid did it too. In the first half, after the Lamar Jackson fumble, Chiefs were up 14-7, and they force a fumble, recover it in Ravens territory, and on third down, Kelsey gets tackled short of the line to gain, and they decided to go for it on fourth down instead of kicking the field goal, and they were stuffed on fourth down. And when you look at the way the game played out, I know it didn't matter in the end, but when Baltimore was trying to make their rally late, they were down 10, so all they needed was touchdown field goal. Had Reid kicked that field goal, it would have been 13. They would have needed 2 touchdowns. And obviously they kicked the field goal and tried to get a stop and couldn't. But in any event, could have bitten Andy Reid, didn't, but it did bite Dan Campbell. Third quarter, halfway through the third quarter, you're up 14, and a field goal there makes it 17. It's a 3-score game. You just keep the pressure on them, and whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, either way, it's a 3-score game, and you've moved the ball. It just did it again midway through the fourth quarter, down 3 with a chance to tie. I don't know why coaches hate points, man. And I get it. People say, well, Dan Campbell and Detroit have gone for it on fourth down more than any other team in the NFL. That's true. You go for it on 34% of the time. That still means 2/3 of the time you don't go for it. So, I don't know. I think a lot of people are disappointed for Detroit, rightfully so. It would have been a great story. Detroit did score the backdoor cover. So if you had the Niners and you laid the points, you were looking good until Detroit's backdoor cover there at the end. But in any event, good day for Jimmy Ott's Football Sunday. Again, missed on the money line parlay, hit on the teaser bet. Paul Nolan gave Christian McCaffrey over 35.5 receiving yards, which hit. I gave over in Niners Lions, so those guys rolled all football season long, and why would yesterday have been any different? So, okay, let's say some good mornings here. Hey, Matt Plavidal, good morning. Tim Gotro, Bubba Tatum, Juan, good morning. Chris P, William Moore, James McKinney, good to see y'all here. Jen Gari, good morning, Matt. Super Bowl matchup thoughts, not the game I wanted. Yeah, look, I think this is, it's a rematch. Obviously, the Super Bowl from a few years ago, where it would have been 2019, where, excuse me, where San Fran had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter and blew it. I just told you I went against the Chiefs twice already this postseason and was wrong both times. It's hard to go against them again. And the thing about San Francisco is when they are at their best, they're really good. The problem they've had this postseason and down the stretch is we just don't see them consistently at their best. So, the first half, they were on the ropes. But again, you saw what they did in the second half is really impressive. But how were you even in that spot? Same thing against Green Bay. Green Bay outplayed them for 3 quarters, but they managed to rally and win. But those are two inexperienced teams in Green Bay and Detroit. Now you're going against this decade's dynasty. Now, for the fourth time in the Super Bowl in 5 years, dramatically different level of experience and expectation and all that sort of stuff. So it's hard to go against Kansas City in this one. Larry Garner, good morning. Taylor Hudson, morning, Matt. Do you know if Jaden is playing in the Senior Bowl this week? I don't know if he's playing in the game. He is going to the Senior Bowl, so he'll be there this week. So, going for today is all the meat market, as they call it, the cattle call. They measure you and weigh you and all that stuff today. But I'm sure Jaden will go through the practices and the interviews, and he'll be there this week. I just don't know if he's playing in the game. Tiger Diver, good morning, Brad David. Did you see Jake Peets interviewed with the Bucks? Thought his career was dead after LSU. I didn't see that he interviewed, and I don't think, his career isn't dead. I mean, he was a guy who came from the NFL and maybe just was better suited there. He's been back in the NFL since he left here. Brian Wynn, if the Lions take the points both times instead of going for it, they're headed to the Super Bowl instead of the Niners. Wendell Norman, good morning. Trivia Carter, good morning. Leon Williams, morning, Matt. Not sure what Dan Campbell was doing. You got to take the points. That cost a city Super Bowl trip. Yeah, the counter argument is they went for it on fourth down more than any other team in the NFL. And I saw this morning a stat. It's more than any other team since 2000. That's the most highest percentage of team has gone for it on fourth down. So I understand staying authentically true to yourself and what you do. But again, going for it 34% of the time means you don't go for it 2/3 of the time. Brett Gidger, morning, Matt. I think I missed it. Could you fill me in on the Ocho Cinco story? Yeah, so quick Cliff's Notes. Back during the summer, the NFL put out a graphic asking people to predict Derek Carr's season stats. Ocho Cinco replies and says, 38 touchdowns, 4,700 yards, whatever. And so I do a bit on air where I showed Ocho Cinco's predictions. I was like, well, if Ocho Cinco just gets to make up, live in a fantasy land and make stuff up, then I'm going to be a Head and Shoulders model. All right, you get it. So anyway, our production team clipped that, turned it into a short reel, posted it on Instagram and Twitter and everywhere. And I guess Ocho Cinco saw it. And so then he replies to it. He's like, Matt, you got to understand, Carr finally has weapons, blah, blah, blah. I was like, let's make a bet. And he's like, I'm down. So what we settled on was if Carr hit all of those statistics, hit Ocho's predictions, then I would do my show on remote at Don Juan and just do a full day promoting Ocho Cinco's cigars. He's got a cigar brand, 85 cigar brand. Said I'd even buy a bunch of boxes and give them out to listeners as they came and so on. I said, if I win, then Ocho has to fly to Baton Rouge and do my show with me for a day. And so I tweeted at him on Friday, and he immediately replied. I was like, I'm in, let's go. So I think he's going to shoot inside the NFL on Wednesday. This is what he told me. He's going to shoot inside the NFL on Wednesday and then fly here and do the show either Thursday or Friday. So we'll keep you posted. I'll wait until it's completely like flight booked, everything's set, but that's our tentative plan. So it could change, but we'll see. Jacob Thompson, Austin Kidder, good morning. Chris P, what's up? Leon, going against Mahomes isn't the safest bet. 2 playoff losses in his career. He'll get his 3rd ring in 4 years. Only QB that can beat him in the playoffs is Joe Burrow. I mean, he's Tom Brady. They lost to the Bucs in the Super Bowl as well. So, Kelly Gross, good morning. Mark Vitanovich, what's going on? Yeah, congrats to Clyde, back in the Super Bowl again with the Chiefs, and Ty Davis Price with the Niners. Who has the best king cake in Baton Rouge? Rouse's, of course. The official supermarket of AFR and of the New Orleans Saints. Lowell Cormier, what's up? Ali Samanduri, Trey Patan, what's going on? Bubba Smith, David Wallace. Hey, Dad, good morning. Dale Broussard, Taylor Swift made it to the Super Bowl. Dale did an angry puke emoji. Dale, I can only guess you're joking because you were here yesterday for the show. Maybe you weren't here yesterday for the show. In which case, come on, Dale, grow up. Like, why? I don't understand why people have such a thing against her. They're supporting her boyfriend. Like, I gotta watch videos of Christian McCaffrey chest bumping his girlfriend. That's okay, but it's not okay for Taylor Swift to be there to support Travis Kelce. Come on. Tony Cortello, Brent St. Germain, Hong Tam Win. Georgia and LSU have the longest streak of having players in the Super Bowl since 2001. Yeah, that is a pretty incredible streak. And I mean, obviously, you have to have a lot of players in the NFL to be able to hit that streak. But there's also a degree of luck or happenstance that goes along with it as well. So, but yeah, for sure, that it's a very cool thing. It's a cool banner to be able to wave. Ryan, Amanda Guidry, Deborah Coward, good morning. Richie Burt, are you going to take Ocho to Doze to meet up with Ott too? No. And they're there. I don't know what time he's even getting in town. So I think handing Ott to their show at Doze on like every other Tuesday. So that wouldn't even work. If he's here on Thursday, they would be downtown at Jolie Pearl. Josh DeVilliers, morning, Matt. Question, the offer that Bo Davis extended to Jay Muhammad is that for 2024? No idea. And you know I'm not the recruiting guy, so I'm sorry, I don't know. Trivia, unless you're 49ers or KC fan, this is the Super Bowl nobody wants or cares about. I disagree with you, Trivia. I think, well, obviously there's tons of intrigue with the Chiefs. They're building a dynasty, their 4th Super Bowl in 5 years. There's obviously Mahomes has star power, and there's so many kids who are front runners, but they're kids and they love the Chiefs and they love Mahomes and all that stuff. And you walk around Baton Rouge, you see Chiefs jerseys, which I hate, but yes, there's the Kelce Taylor Swift angle of it as well. So there's a lot of different appeal there. And then the Niners are, we're the dynasty of the 80s. And you bring in the West Coast market here in one of the top 10 markets in America, in San Francisco. So I don't know, man. I disagree with you. I think those are 2 pretty big brand names. I think there would have been intrigue with Detroit because they haven't they'd never been to a Super Bowl, and it kind of would have been the underdog story. But really, I think more people say they love Cinderella stories, but when it comes to championships, they want a heavyweight fight. It's like the NCAA tournament. Everyone loves the upsets, the Cinderellas in the first round, but nobody wants a Cinderella in the Final Four. Look at the ratings last year when you had Florida Atlantic and San Diego State. And I mean, it was a crappy Final Four. Nobody watched. Houston. Wasn't Houston in it? Whatever. Let's see. Matt, ready for college baseball. Yep. Almost there, man. Less than 3 weeks away. Eye of the beholder. Dan Campbell's decision not to go for the touchdown at the end of the first half was awful. Von Bluespin, Bailey C. Lamar was awful yesterday. He was. Guy that was the MVP all year, who played great all year, and they were a tick off, man. Even watching him on short and intermediate passes, missing open receivers, 2 receivers in the same area, dumping a ball right between them. Like they were just off, just a tick off all day. Austin, we could have beaten Bama in 2021 if Coach O didn't hate points and get stuffed on 4th down 3 times. That's a good point. That was the game in Tuscaloosa where LSU was a massive underdog, really had no business being in the game, but played their best game of the year and darn near won it on the road. Jerome ran off the field like throwing up the L's like they had done something because they played him close. Brett DeGros, Shane Big Fella, KDP, Irfan Sayad, what's up? Devin Kelly, good morning. Loss on Dan Campbell, cost team 6 points. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Hindsight's 2020. If they score, then we're lauding him for being gutsy and going for it and all that sort of stuff. But I just don't see it that way. And again, I'm not an NFL head coach, but I do look at those circumstances, and I value points. Like, take the points, build a lead, get closer, put pressure on the other team. Like, the objective is to score points, not to get yards or lean on analytics. The objective of the game is to score points. Hang on a second, Drew's back next week. I'll be right back. Right. Sorry about that. Okay. James Avery, Samuel Smith, is it okay to say Mahomes is the GOAT already? No, that's not okay. Come on, man. Tom Brady went to 10 Super Bowls and won 7 of them. Like, come on. What are you talking about? 10. Brady went to 10. Won 7 of them. No, it's not okay to say Mahomes is the GOAT. Hall of Famer? Yes, already. Hall of Famer, done. He could retire today as a Hall of Famer. American Patriot, has Mr. Irrelevant quarterback ever been to the Super Bowl in 3 years or less? Pretty nice story. I'm pulling for the Niners. I'll never pull for the Niners in anything ever. I hate the San Francisco 49ers. Old NFC West. Saw them beat the Saints so many. Even when the Saints were good in the early 90s. Yeah, Bobby Hebert, Dalton Hilliard, Eric Martin, Dome Patrol, that whole gang that would win games. The Saints would win 12, the Niners would win 13. You'd be a wild card team. So no, I'm not okay with the Niners. Never have been, never will be, ever. I'll never cheer for them, ever. Brock Purdy. There's never been a Mr. Relevant quarterback to take a snap in an NFL game until Brock Purdy. So certainly the first one to go to Super Bowl. BL. Guy Brooks, morning, Matt. I hope you and your family had a great weekend. Thanks, Guy. We did, man. Really good weekend. Went yesterday to Dynasties of Baton Rouge has a sensory mass for for people with special needs, and so we went to that yesterday. It was at St. Jude. So Erica, Drew, and I went to that yesterday, which was nice. And Saturday was pretty low key. And then yesterday we had dinner with Erica's family for father-in-law's birthday. Today is his actual birthday, 74 today. So, yeah, good weekend. Spurge, what's up, man? Robbie White, good to see. Saw Robbie and his family yesterday at Mass over at St. Jude. Very good to see you, man. Great family. Robbie's folks were there as well, so awesome to see y'all. Tremaine, good morning. Wacky Chris, good morning. Outcome sucks for the Lions. They had an incredible season and are the example of how a rebuild should be done. Yeah. The one thing, though, Wacky Chris, I would agree, except at quarterback. It's just so rare that you're going to have the opportunity. Look, so they traded for Goff, right? They trade for Goff and the picks, and then they converted those picks into great players. But Goff has really reinvented himself. In a way, kind of, I think that we had all hoped Jameis might, former number 1 overall pick, who the team that drafted him, sort of was willing to discard him. But Goff has found that spot in Detroit that's been perfect for him. Michael Thacker, being a Chiefs fan since 2003 as a kid, this has been a fun decade, lots of disappointment before that. You see, how did you become a Chiefs fan in 2003? That's my real question. So, Michael, I don't know where you're from, but if you're from Louisiana and you became a Chiefs fan in 2003, how? When I was young, I did like the Chiefs. I thought it was interesting to watch. So when Joe Montana left the Niners, went to the Chiefs, I thought it was cool to be able to see Montana play for someone other than the Niners. I thought Christian McCoy was awesome. Derek Thomas was a monster. And then Neil Smith, who played on that defensive line, was from New Orleans. And actually Neil Smith's parents lived a street behind my grandfather. So there was some tie that made it interesting, and then they were good. And there was a little burn there where it was interesting to watch the Chiefs in the early 90s. But I don't know how people here are Chiefs fans. Brad David, John Lynch is so much better at building a roster than Loomis. Kind of goes without saying at this point. Although Loomis has won a Super Bowl as a GM. Trivia, don't be surprised if viewership is lower than usual. That is fundamentally absurd trivia. The Taylor Swift factor alone will cause this to be the most viewed Super Bowl ever. You are outside of your mind if you think that this isn't going to be the highest viewed Super Bowl ever. You don't have to admit it, but literally the Taylor Swift factor alone will make this the most viewed Super Bowl ever. Because y'all know the whole thing, right? She's playing in Japan on the 10th. And so she can finish her show in Japan, fly to Vegas, and because of the time change, she'll be in Vegas on the 10th. So she'll play in Japan on the 10th and then be in Vegas on the. She basically gets to do the 10th 2 days, and then stay for the Super Bowl. So yeah, like if you don't, brother, this is no, man. Dynasty with the Chiefs, giant market, historic franchise with the Niners, Taylor Swift factor, in Vegas for the first time. Oh, bro, no, this will be the most viewed Super Bowl ever. Antron Hemingway, is there any more ex-Saints playing in the Super Bowl that we know? I see Chauncey Gardner going home. I'd have to look at the rosters. I don't know that there's any former Saints. I'd have to look deeper at the roster. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. I got to go. Jonathan Mortimer, is Austin Thomas returning to LSU? If so, what does it mean for LSU football in the future? He is, and it's awesome news. Austin is a fantastic roster builder, manager, recruiter, program organizer, all that sort of stuff. So fantastic news. Ben Giat. We have Scott coming out to Thibodeau today. Look at my mom's roof. Rain last week had it leaking. Awesome, man. So Scott, of course, from HUDCO. We'll be on a call here at 8:30, our Monday morning HUDCO call. So I'll get to chat with Scott then. I'm sure he'll take good care of you, Ben. Scott's a good dude. So hope it all works out today. Let us know what we can do to help. Okay, y'all, I got to bounce. If I missed you, my apologies. Do me a favor. Please smash that like button if you're on YouTube. Subscribe up to the channel, Facebook. Like the Matt Moscona page. Share the post. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you for AFR 3. Peace. Peace, peace, peace.